All right, rise and shine, everyone. Time now, 6 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for starting your day with us here on Sunrise. Jason Hackett and Lauren Lemanchek here with you. As we look back to yesterday, it was very blustery and very fall-like, for sure.
Yes, and we were talking, John, about how miserable it is and how much nicer it would have been if it was just a little snow. See? Unpopular opinion, but you and I agree.
You think that's an unpopular opinion?
Oh, it's unpopular with me.
We weren't talking to you.
Okay. Oh, my bad. I will see myself out.
Listen, I'm with you. If it's snowing, it's fine. Yesterday's kind of tough. It's kind of awkward. It's not snowing. It's a tough day. But the winds are coming down a little bit today, but it's still breezy out here. Grab your coats. It's still going to be blustery this morning. Then things will improve on the second half of the day. And we could see areas in western Minnesota, lighter winds. You see the winds starting to lighten up out there? That's high pressure coming in from the Dakotas. But right now, it's breezy because that low pressure center still hasn't wanted to move much. It's crawling east. 43, technically above average this morning, but it still feels like the 30s. Look at temperatures, almost the 20s now. Look what happens when you clear out in Wilmer and Marshall. The cloud deck keeping things in the 40s in Menominee and the Twin Cities. You can see that here. Most of the rain's going to stay up towards Hayward today, but we're just going to see this cloud deck cut us in half, literally. Areas in western Minnesota, even Wilmer, sunny and really nice this afternoon after a cold start. And areas in the East Metro, maybe overcast skies when you get northeast of Osceola. So again, we'll time this out when you're going to get warmer in that 7-day forecast. Cece, good morning.
Good morning. Good news at 6:02. That crash that I was tracking in St. Paul just cleared a couple minutes ago. It was on 35E northbound as you're making your way north of Kellogg there in St. Paul. It was blocking the right lane and right shoulder, but now things are all cleared up. So as you head into downtown, farther into downtown, your commute should be okay. Speeds getting back to normal. So because that cleared, we are crash free from what I can tell. So if you're headed out just after 6:15 or 6:25, your commute should be pretty quiet. As far as construction, I'm only seeing one new project start up this morning down in Hastings. So I'll have more on that over the next hour. Jason.
Cece, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. Right now, we're still waiting for word from the Minneapolis Teachers Union this morning on negotiations to avoid a strike.
We know the union and the district talked for at least 12 hours, maybe more, and quite possibly those talks stretched into the overnight hours. Audrey Russo's live at district headquarters this morning. Audrey, I know a lot of parents are following this really closely. You're looking for some answers.
Yeah, I've texted every member of the union's leadership team. I'm still waiting to hear back, honestly, on what's the word on what they decided last night. That was supposed to be the last day of the negotiating table, and if they didn't strike a deal, well, their next move would be to authorize a strike, and they'd have to vote on that, and that could begin as soon as tomorrow. So just to rewind back a little bit, the Minneapolis Federation of Educators wants to see raises to the tune of 6 to 10% in their new contract. They also want to see more special education staff and limits on class sizes. Now, district leaders claim their last proposal met a lot of the union's asks. Any potential strike vote would take place over 3 days, tomorrow, Friday, and Monday. And so if the union membership votes yes to authorize a strike, well, then the union would then have to give the district about 10 days notice before they stop showing up for work. So the soonest we could see some impacts to the school day, to school operations, would be early November. Back to you.
All right, Audrey, thanks for keeping us posted on that. 6:04 now, and we're live from the U.S. Capitol this morning, hours before we head into week 4 of the government shutdown. It's now considered the second longest in U.S. history.
And this morning, the fallout is hitting federal workers especially hard, and there are big impacts in Minnesota as well. Michelle Beck is at the live desk with the very latest for us. Michelle.
Yeah, let me start with local impacts to SNAP because I got a question on social media about it. Right now, the state makes it clear that for November, SNAP and food benefits will not be issued until the federal government shutdown ends. A look here at the toll the shutdown has had and now entering its 4th week. This long line is for a food bank outside Washington, D.C. to help federal workers. More than 1 million of them are either furloughed or working without pay. GOP leaders on the Hill met with President Trump yesterday as Democrats, too, are demanding a face-to-face, especially before the president leaves in a few days to Asia.
He's been willing to negotiate in the Mideast. He's been willing to negotiate in Asia, but he's not willing to walk down the block and meet with the leaders of Congress.
I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open.
Hey, and some insight into his meeting with Republicans. Several senators told NBC News there was little discussion of the shutdown. The GOP is still waiting for Democrats to back off their demands about health care reforms. Back to you.
Still no end in sight for this. All right, Michelle, thank you. Let's take a live look here from the Senate floor right now, where Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley is nearing 13 hours into a speech protesting what he calls President Trump's grave threats against democracy. He says he'll keep going as long as he's able to. Senate Republicans criticize Merkley for holding Senate staff and Capitol Police officers overnight while they're not getting paid because of the shutdown. We're watching for a reaction from the president. He hasn't commented at last check. We're also following breaking news in Ukraine. Overnight, at least 6 people were killed in Kyiv, including a 6-month-old baby and a 12-year-old girl during a Russian missile and drone attack. Key energy facilities and several high-rise residential buildings were also damaged in the attack. Now, President Donald Trump is promising news about the war in Ukraine soon, meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in D.C. today. Trump planned to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow, but that has also been put on hold.
Also in Minneapolis, the community is coming out to support an ice cream shop that was firebombed twice in less than 24 hours. Old and new customers, including Mayor Fry, packed into Fletcher's Ice Cream and Cafe yesterday. Police say a man threw a lit Molotov cocktail at the shop Sunday night. The owner, Jason Fletcher, says it broke through the window and set some chairs on fire. The next day, police say the same man came back and threw another Molotov cocktail, but this time the wick fell out. Officers later arrested a man who's now awaiting charges. Police are investigating a possible motive for the crimes, but the owner has his own thoughts.
The obvious answer is, oh, our flag, but I would like to think that it's not. I would like to think that people appreciate the fact that we support everybody and we love everybody and we want this to be a safe place for everybody. And so, yeah, we'd like to think that we don't know why.
There will be a neighborhood safety rally at Fletcher's tomorrow night at 6.
This morning, an investigation into what caused a terrifying school bus fire in Brooklyn Center. Take a look at your screen right now. This is video of the flames spreading through the bus around 3 yesterday afternoon near 55th Avenue North and Brooklyn Boulevard. Wow, quite the scene there. So the bus was destroyed, but incredibly, no one was hurt. Officials say that's thanks to the bus driver and bystanders there. Brooklyn Center police say they jumped into action to get 8 students off the bus before it was fully engulfed. Again, the exact cause under investigation, but officials believe it was a mechanical issue near the engine.
Wow, big thanks to everyone who stepped in to help there. This morning, we're learning nearly 300 workers will be out of a job as one of the state's leading paving material providers plans to close more than a dozen locations statewide. OMG Midwest Inc., which operates locally under the name Minnesota Paving and Materials, says it's shutting down 14 facilities across central and southern Minnesota. Those layoffs begin in December.